Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking Session 3 of the incredible self-worth course, focusing specifically on the architecture of inner peace, setting personal boundaries. Now, we usually think of boundaries as these big, defensive walls meant to keep people out, but actually, they are the absolute foundation you need to build healthy, sustainable relationships with others, for sure, but most importantly, with yourself.
I want you to stop and honestly ask yourself this. How much discomfort do you endure just to keep others happy? Seriously, are you sacrificing your own inner peace just to avoid inconveniencing someone else? Think about how often you find yourself in a situation where you're completely uncomfortable, yet you say absolutely nothing. You just swallow those feelings, you push through the frustration, all because you're terrified the other person might get upset or misunderstand where you're coming from. And guys, this silent endurance, this is exactly where our self-worth starts to chip away.
Section 1. The price of people-pleasing. Let's talk about how this mindset is literally draining you.
What's really fascinating here is how our lack of internal boundaries acts like a massive leak for our daily energy. When we don't have boundaries, we're essentially broadcasting a signal to the world that our time, our comfort, and our peace, they just don't matter as much as everyone else's. Picture this. A friend calls you at 2 in the morning. You have a strict routine, you sleep at 9 p.m. to wake up early and crush your goals. Someone struggling with low self-worth will just pick up that phone, completely wreck their sleep schedule, and wake up exhausted and secretly resentful the next day just because they were too shy to say no. But the high self-worth approach, it's stepping into your power. It's warmly saying, hey, I really love talking to you, but this is my time to rest. Let's find a time tomorrow when we're both energized to catch up. See the difference? It's highly respectful, but absolutely firm.
Section 2. Overcoming social embarrassment. Let's look at the cultural and psychological traps keeping us stuck.
Why is it so incredibly hard to just speak up? Well, there's this cultural phenomenon, often referred to in Eastern cultures as Rodar-vasi, which basically translates to social embarrassment. It's an invisible barrier that directly attacks your self-worth. It's that painful feeling of excessive politeness, where you prioritize what society thinks over what your own soul actually needs. If your brain is constantly looping on, oh no, what will they think, or will they be offended, you are literally handing over the remote control of your happiness to someone else. Getting past this fear is step 1 to reclaiming your worth.
Section 3. Setting external boundaries. Let's break down exactly where we need to start building these protective limits in our daily lives.
By defining clear limits across these different zones, you actively curate a peaceful environment for yourself. This covers everything. Physical boundaries, like communicating that you aren't a hugger. Temporal boundaries for your sleep. Communication boundaries to stop aggressive comments. Digital boundaries, like kindly telling a friend, hey, I really value my privacy. Please ask me before tagging me in photos. Or even financial limits, like committing to a strict personal rule of never lending or borrowing money with friends so things don't get weird. You have to map out your limits across all these areas.
And notice how you can be completely respectful and firm at the exact same time. Setting boundaries does not require hostility, it just requires self-respect. Think about that one colleague who stands uncomfortably close to you while talking. You don't have to be aggressive about it. You simply say, I am loving this conversation, but I just need a little more personal space to focus on what you're saying. It's that simple. You're honoring your own comfort without degrading theirs.
The same goes for your professional life. True professional integrity means knowing your limits so you can deliver your best work without burning out. If a boss expects you to stay 2 hours late every single day and you don't have boundaries, you're going to do it. And then your energy will plummet and your work quality will suffer. A high self-worth professional approaches the boss and says, I am deeply committed to this job, but to maintain the highest quality of work, I can only do overtime once a week. The rest of the time, I need to recharge.
Section 4. The painkiller friend. Let's dive into a highly relatable dynamic that silently drains so many of us. Oh man, we all know someone exactly like this. Allowing yourself to be used as an emotional dumping ground is a massive drain on your self-worth. This is the friend who is mysteriously absent during your happy moments, your parties, your successes. But the very second they have a crisis, their partner leaves them or they're super stressed, they call you and talk for 4 hours straight. You become their free therapist, their emotional painkiller. But if you ever need them, nowhere to be found.
This is where you have to use a compassionate but firm script. It's exactly how you stop being a reluctant therapist and start demanding high-quality connections. You are completely allowed to say, I love you, but I am not equipped to just be an emotional sponge for your hard days when you are never here for my good days. Now, some people might get deeply offended by this. They might call you a bad friend and walk away. But here is the secret. Let them walk away. You are simply making room for people who respect your energy.
Section 5. Boundaries with yourself. Setting limits isn't just about managing other people.
The most vital boundaries are actually the ones we set with ourselves. Forcing yourself to stop working and honor your own rest is a profound act of self-love. If you're constantly working late into the night, never giving yourself a moment of silence or joy, you are actively violating your own boundaries. You're basically telling the universe that your rest doesn't matter. But by setting a hard stop, like literally closing the laptop at 8 p.m. sharp, you're telling yourself, I am valuable and my peace of mind is just as important as my productivity.
Section 6. The universe reflects your worth. How the world responds to your internal state.
This right here is the absolute core of our explainer today. Your external reality is simply a mirror of your internal self-worth. It's a universal law. If you do not value your time, your colleagues won't. If you don't value your emotional bandwidth, your friends definitely won't. But the moment you start valuing your own comfort and enforcing it with respect, a miraculous shift happens. The universe actually begins to align with your newly established standards.
It's a process, right? You set the boundary, you face that initial temporary fear of social embarrassment, and you let incompatible people exit gracefully. When you step through this, you realize that losing people who disrespect your limits isn't a loss at all. It clears the path. Watch as the universe replaces those low-quality connections with people who truly value your essence.
I want to leave you with this provocative thought to carry with you this week. Are you ready to stop sacrificing your inner peace just so others won't be inconvenienced? Your life, your time, and your energy are profoundly valuable. Start acting like it today. Set those boundaries with love and firmness, and just watch how beautifully the world responds. Thank you so much for exploring this explainer with me today, and I'll catch you on the next one.